Hello everyone, welcome back to Newcastle Fans TV. It is the preview for the West Ham game on Saturday lunchtime, but we have to talk about that dreaded T word as well. And if we're talking about that T word, I've got to bring Sam and Adam along. Good evening to you both, gents.
Hello everyone.
Yeah, that dreaded T word. I'm not going to talk about it for too long because we want to talk all things Newcastle West Ham. Get your comments in. How do you think Newcastle will go on against West Ham? West Ham, one of the form teams. Jesse Lingard is just scoring for fun at the minute. Can the likes of Federico Fernandez, Javier Manquillo, Emil Kraft stop them from scoring again? Who knows? But let's start with the big news over the last 48 hours. Sam, for anyone that's been living under a rock, and haven't read the Daily Mail, the Takeover has come back from the dead almost, or has it?
Has it? I don't know. These things don't really help anyone, do they? If anything, it's just revelations from what happened last year when it was all seemed like 99% done. Whether or not it's enough to change anything, whether it affects the arbitration, who knows? But everyone's been getting involved, even our wonderful leader Boris. But having said that, they did deny his involvement today. A government spokesman, which dodgy government denies dodgy dealings. What shock horror. But I don't know. I'm always a bit sceptical about these kind of things now, after we were stung and hurt so badly last year. But I don't know. But what I will say is fair play to Andrew Musgrove in persisting for 6 months, I think he said it was, in getting them documents that he published on the Chronicle earlier this week. Fair play to him, because it was there was a lot of interesting bits come out of that.
Adam, it was said that the government made a comment maybe to the Premier League and said, "What's going on? Is this deal happening? His Highness bin Salman." I'm not going to go all the way through his title. I think it's longer than His Royal Highness the Prince Philip by the end of it. But it was kind of like a little whisper in the ear to Boris. Can you just check what's going on, because we want this to go through, and we're good friends. Can you make this go? Can you make this go through?
Yeah, I mean, as Sam says, I think this was all done, possibly a year ago when it was starting to go quiet. It's not kind of new news. It's not kind of bubbling on now. I think I'm very much of the mindset it's dead in the water. I don't really listen to much takeover stuff anymore, because I got dragged into it last year. I got my hopes up a lot. Whether the government are involved or not, there's still a lot behind the scenes going on with whatever it is, above Boris Johnson, all the human rights stuff and all that stuff, that we constantly read last year. Bit of I mean, I agree with Mike there. A bit of clickbait for me, like from a bit unnecessary to release the article. It just gets people's hopes up again. We're coming to the end of the season, where we get this every year, where there's a takeover coming on. And people fall for it, people get involved in it. For me, I think I'm the same as you, Jonny. I know you don't usually like talking about it. It's just a bit tedious.
On the other side of the coin, Sam, is it not just a journalist doing his job by getting information and getting people to click and talk about something that's happening?
Yes. A couple of articles breaking late at night over the past few days from Craig Hope, which I'm sure will endear him to Steve Bruce even more than he already is. There's just a couple of niggling things that I think have come to light that, look, every man and his dog knows there's something dodgy going on in the Premier League, whether it's Richard Masters or Gary Hoffman. The whole thing stinks. There's definitely wrongdoing there, and I'm sure Nick DeMarco will find it, whatever it is. I have confidence in that. Do I have confidence about a takeover going through? I don't know. I don't care. Well, I do care. I care a lot, obviously, but I don't care in a sense that I don't want to hear it. I don't want to run in commentary like we had last year. I just want to know when it happens, and like I can hop in the car with a boot full of beer and then crack on, tops off, #cans. But it's a couple of things like baffle me. Like, you're trying so hard to prove that bin Salman isn't linked to the PIF, and then he, writes a letter to Boris lobbying and trying to change his mind. And I mean, could that be easily disproved? Possibly. Maybe he's just looking out for his fellow countrymen's business assets. I don't know. It's just so exhausting.
Yeah, very much so. I was just going to say, Adam, do you think the government would push this through if they had the chance to?
I don't think it would reflect. I mean, of course, I want it to happen more than anyone, but I just don't think it would reflect very well on the government in response to kind of what's being reported. All the negative stuff's been, because it's about Newcastle. It's all the negative stuff. It's all about the journalist, and they don't report all the positive stuff the Saudi government are trying to do. I know it's obviously not the cleanest country, but they are taking a step in the right direction, i.e. hosting boxing events. No one kicks off when Anthony Joshua's fighting over there, and things like that. So it's for the government. I think they're having a hard enough time as it is. And this time last year, they had bigger priorities than the Newcastle takeover, with everything that's gone on the last year. So hopefully, there's something in the background. You read things on Twitter, you see things like, oh, please let it happen. But I just think it's too far gone now.
If you're having confidence about this government getting anything done, then it's seriously misplaced. Seriously misplaced.
No, well, that's where we end the politics, because we're not on GB News. That's about to be released very, very soon.
Well, no, GB News would be pro this government, wouldn't they?
We don't know yet. We don't know where they stand. Who knows?
Look at who they're hiring.
Can't comment on speculation. Anyway. Let's move on. Actually, the very last question on this song. Are we stuck between a rock and a hard place on this takeover? Because it seems like Ashley feels like he's got a strong case. Nick DeMarco will believe that he's got an extremely strong case. The Premier League think they've got a very strong case. Well, whose case is the strongest as we speak?
I have full confidence in Nick DeMarco because there's a proven track record, and there is, as I said before, it's so obvious that something dodgy is going on in the Premier League. It doesn't take, I mean, anyone can see that. Things aren't adding up. There's just some dodgy dealings, and I have full confidence in Nick DeMarco. And why else would Mike Ashley be persisting? Why else? And I think what we can take away from all of this mainly is, thank God you've trimmed your beard, Jonny, as Richard Boyd rightly says in the comments.
I can't comment on speculation on that either. Anyway,
it's not speculation.
Adam's
at least
had a trim as well, by the way.
At least, yeah, but his isn't noticeable. You look like an absolute disgrace last weekend.
Don't blame me. Blame the government.
I mean, there's a reason why we haven't done a Greenwood and Mulliner show this week, because I've just refused to be seen after that match, after last match day.
Well, if it's any consolation, Alex Hurst like your beard, so that's all I'm saying. If you haven't seen that,
no, he didn't.
If you haven't seen that Greenwood and Mulliner show, it is on YouTube, which was released on Monday. Very, very fascinating on the 1892 pledge. As well, we've got some fantastic shows coming along. I don't know if I was gone or used to. I'm guessing it was me, because normally it's me that's gone. But we'll move on. Good, probably. Yeah, but we have got some Green and Mulliner shows in the offing, so please keep your eye out on that. And just a big, big thank you to everybody that has subscribed. 25,000 we have just passed today. I think there's maybe even last night we were thinking that it was going to be. We're going to hit the 25k. So a big, big thanks. There will be a few videos in regards to hitting 25k in the next few days. Former members talking about the great news as well. So it's fantastic to see Newcastle fans and former Newcastle fans, TV members all getting along, because that's what we all love as Newcastle in general. doing very, very well. Right, let's move on to Newcastle versus West Ham United on Saturday at 12:30. We actually have a pretty good record against West Ham, Adam. Newcastle haven't lost to West Ham at St James's since December 2018, where Newcastle lost 3-0 in the failed 11-minute walk in or walk out or whatever you want to call it back in the day. So Newcastle should come in with this with a little bit of confidence if it's on head-to-head form. But West Ham having the season of their lives, Adam.
Yeah, I mean, I think we've lost 1 in 6, so we're not in the worst form, although it's not the best football. We're proving a bit more difficult to beat than we have been, if that's been trying to get the positives out of the way. But as you say, West Ham are on fire at the minute. Individual players really stepping up. Declan Rice has slated when we beat them 2-0. First game of the season, he's just come on and on. He looks an unbelievable player now. Jesse Lingard, sign of the season. It's looking like it's going to be a handful to stop. Souček, they've got some quality players so it's going to be a tough game. But it all depends on the two main lads starting. They came on and changed the game on Sunday. Our odds on winning the game or getting anything completely depends if they start. Steve Bruce obviously made the choice not to start them against Burnley. Fitness issues or not, for me, they have to start on Saturday. Have to, for us to stand any chance.
Yeah, we'll talk about Newcastle very, very shortly. We have got a clip from West Ham Fan TV from Dan Laws, a big friend of the channel, very, very soon. But Sam, West Ham are looking for a top 4 spot. The first time since 1985-86 that they could finish in the top 4. They've never finished any higher than 5th in the Premier League. But West Ham have only won 1 of the last 4 Premier League away games. They beat Wolves at Molyneux by 3-2. And the last 2 games have been 3-2. They do like to attack. So Newcastle will get chances to exploit them. But going forward, who really impresses you at the minute from West Ham?
Well, it doesn't take a genius to figure out Jesse Lingard's in the form of his life. Proper mugged me off here. Someone pointed out a tweet I put on the NFTV Twitter account in January when we were linked to him. I put like a GIF, of the story being Newcastle linked to Jesse Lingard. I put a GIF of like someone with a head in their hands. I just used to think Jesse Lingard was just rubbish, but my word, he's turned into an absolute hero, hasn't he? Where's that come from? He's rubbish before. He's just, and he's on fire. I mean, we've now got to pay him special attention because he's going to be going to the Euros. What an absolute turnaround! I mean, fair play to him. He's been on fire and just shows these loan moves can really help a player develop and get back into form. Similar to what happened, but on a much lesser degree with Jacob Murphy when he went away on loan, and now he's looking competent, whereas before he wasn't. We've got to stop Lingard. I think Antonio's still out injured, isn't he? So
50-50 is what West Ham's saying on that.
Okay, and Declan Rice is still out, but obviously he's not there for his attacking prowess. So Lingard is their main man all of a sudden, and the way he's banging them in, geez. It's going to be a tough old game, and the defence is going to have to perform a hell of a lot better than it has done over the past couple of weeks.
Yeah, just before I break off, Arsenal and Manchester United are both winning in the Europa League, just in case anybody wants a half an eye on that.
People don't watch that.
Well, I'd love to be in the Europa League, but that's a separate video.
Yeah,
for a separate day.
I haven't watched it since we were in it.
Yeah. If you haven't heard the interview that we've done with Peter Drury, he talked about Newcastle's European nights, and he'd love to see them back as well. If you haven't seen that Green with a Mole on the show.
We all would.
Jesse Lingard obviously is the man of the moment, but another player that I think is very, very important to West Ham is Thomas Souček, the former Slavia Prague player, actually, who we're playing Arsenal at the minute. He just seems to get them ticking in the middle of midfield, and he's a big lad, 6'3", 6'4". He was brilliant against Newcastle last season at St James's, and he was a real threat. How did Newcastle cope with him?
Probably dropping John Joe Shelby. I don't think that'd be a bad shout. He's, we're on the back of a win, but the players
Got good
like
record against West Ham, though, hasn't he, John Joe?
Yeah, he does. He does play well the odd time. The West Ham lads I spoke to on Monday said that they picked him up as our threat. So, no, maybe a bit harsh, but they haven't watched us much. But no, it's going to be a big game for Sean Longstaff again. I thought he played well on Sunday. Others disagree, but when you got players like Souček, is he in double figures yet this season?
Not far off.
And playing from like a central mid position, it's quality. Like so, we've just got to again press better than we have been. The Burnley first half was shocking. We didn't close anything down. We're gonna just have to be on it this Saturday. I think he'll probably stay with Shelby and Longstaff in the middle. So they've just got a big game on their hands.
Sam Mikel Antonio, we talked about the fact that he's 50-50 for the game on Saturday. If he isn't involved, Newcastle have a much better chance of winning because he is their major threat. And even Jamal Lascelles struggled with him last season.
He did. I mean, but Jared Bowen's no mug, who we nearly... Well, I think we were long-standing interest before he signed for West Ham, didn't we? But the bid never came as per. Thank you, Mr. Charnley. I mean, he's been a revelation since he got moved up front, and he's an absolute beast, isn't he? But I'd be surprised to see him start. Like I would be surprised to see Callum Wilson start, if I'm honest. But yeah, Bowen's a better backup option than what we have, based on current form, I think.
Adam, Declan Rice not being available is huge. It is massive. He has been, is it fair to say, West Ham's player of the season? Probably, you could argue, could be in the team of the season for the Premier League because it maybe has a half a shout this season. The fact that it's Mark Noble, and next Mark Noble, we all know he's for West Ham. He's been a fantastic servant, but when it's not Declan Rice in the team, you should be targeting Mark Noble just with more of his age more than anything else.
Yeah, it gives us a bit of an advantage to say he's having his best season so far, Declan Rice. So him missing's a massive plus for us. The West Ham fans spoke so highly of him on Monday when I was speaking to them. As you said, Johnny, there was player of the season. Again, likely to be going to the Euros this summer. So well done to him. But again, we've got to take advantage of that. Mark Noble's a great professional, but he is what he is. He's not creative really, but he will just do the hard work in there. I don't think it'll be the centre midfield where that wins the game on this Saturday. I think it's going to be a lot to do with the width on the pitch. Yeah,
definitely, 100%. We have got a clip from Dan Lawson, West Ham Fan TV. It is a bit of a long one, it's about 7 minutes, nearly 8 minutes. But he talks all things Newcastle versus West Ham. Lee has actually done a video for West Ham Fan TV. He even thinks that West Ham have got a good chance of making the Champions League. Who would have thought that after Jeff Hendricks scored a fantastic goal earlier on this season? But we have got Dan, and we're going to have that clip right now.
What's happening, people? Dan Lawson from West Ham Fan TV here for Newcastle Fans TV to preview the big game on Saturday at St James's Park. I won't call it the Sports Direct Stadium. But yeah, it's a huge, huge game. And the season has panned out completely different for what I expected from both teams. Going back to the first game we played against each other at the start of the season where we was horrendous. You guys beat us 2-0 if I remember rightly. And it just looked to be the start of a really bad season. And, I'm really surprised by how Newcastle season's panned out because I looked at the signings that you'd made and I was jealous. Callum Wilson, someone who you look at it, apart from the injuries, that's the only issue I've had with him, but someone that we could have really done with, who's done really well for Newcastle. Ryan Fraser was highly rated. He's been linked with Arsenal several times. I believe, I'm trying to remember what the fullback you got from Norwich was, whether it was Max Aarons or the other one that was highly rated. But yeah, some really, on paper, some good signings compared to what we were doing. We weren't really spending You know, and then we got in like Craig Dawson, who like all Watford fans were telling us was completely useless and terrible. Turned out to be amazing. And we'd sold Dean Garner and we hadn't really invested, was getting loans in. It just looked like our fortunes would go completely the opposite way. Not to say I thought that you would be where we are now, but I thought that you would be comfortably in the top half based on your signings. And I thought we'd be battling relegation. And it has just gone completely the opposite direction. And I'm still shocked, to be honest, because, you know, after that whole issue, Sendy Ghana Noble came out and he was talking about how angry he was because it was basically sold under the manager's nose and, you know, without the players didn't want him to go. And it just seemed that the vibe, and the thing is, after Newcastle, that Newcastle game was the game that we were looking at, that we need to win that game because of the fixtures that we have after it. And we was terrible in that game, but after that, we switched to a back five. And even some of the games like the Arsenal game we didn't win, we should have won, and was picking up points in these tough games like the draw against Man City, the draw against Tottenham. We smashed Leicester 3-0, Wolves 4-0. You know, some really big games that we thought we'd get nothing from, and we came out with a good return. And, you know, after that, after Masuaku gets injured and we're thinking, oh, we're going to have to go back to that back four that looked so horrible against Newcastle again, we're screwed. And we just still kept moving forward. We would lose Antonio and we'd think we're in trouble now. What are we going to do with goals? And we still just kept moving forward. Ogbonna, he got injured, our best centre-back, and we were worried then. Still kept picking up points. Rice has got injured. We're still, for some reason, all of these hurdles keep coming our way and we still keep finding a way to move forward. You know, you're waiting for it to all fall to pieces as a West Ham fan, and it just hasn't. We're still there. This game is massive. If we beat you guys on Saturday, we go third in the league. And we put some more distance on ourselves between Chelsea. They'll have a game in hand, but it puts that pressure on them. So it is, every game basically to us is a cup final now if we want to get that top four. Every single game. We need to be completely on our A game. And that's what makes me worried. And that's why I go into this game nervous, not underestimating Newcastle. You guys seem to have picked up a bit of form once again. I'm hearing that obviously you've got saint-maximin, who's back, who's been playing very well since he has come back. I'm hearing Callum Wilson is back, who, you know, we know what he did against us the first time around. So that makes me nervous. I cannot take this game for granted. We're still obviously missing Declan Rice. We're still missing Angelo Ogbonna. We're missing Antonio. So we have got some key injuries. Creswell could be a doubt as well. He's been excellent for us in that back five. The big player for us is going to be Jesse Lingard. And he's been amazing. He's been such an incredible signing. Just completely banging in goals. I think he's got like 8 goals and 4 assists in 9 games. So unreal, really important player. And we'll be hoping that he turns up and runs the show. And we've scored 9 goals in our last 3 games. So scoring goals has not been a problem for us. It's just defensively, since, you know, obviously Declan Rice is gone, Ogbonna's not been playing. We've obviously conceded quite a few goals. So we've scored 9, conceded 7 in those 3 games. So that could be an area where Newcastle could really get some joy in trying to exploit our defensive weaknesses. Yeah, that's where I'm worried. So I don't know what to expect. Anything can happen, but we cannot keep going 3-0 up and then just fall into pieces, because 3 games in a row went 3-0 up and then we just fell apart. And thankfully, we held on for the win in 2 of those games, the Leicester and the Wolves game, and drew against Arsenal. So yeah, like this is huge, absolutely huge, and it's a crazy one. You know, I watch, you know, Newcastle Fans TV. I keep up with what Lee's saying, and you know, you was going from a period where it looked like you was getting new ownership. Where look, I know exactly how you feel. We're sitting there and we're hoping that can somehow happen. To still being stuck with Steve Bruce. Obviously went from Rafa to Steve Bruce, and it's just been a really horrendous season for Newcastle. But I do think that you'll stay up. I think now it looked like you'd get dragged into it by Fulham, but I just think that it's maybe a step too far from them. I think you'll pick up points and enough points to stay up. And then what you do next season, it's anyone's guess, because it just looks like he doesn't want to sack Steve Bruce. So you will need to get back on the protests and things when you can do that. Crazy time for both clubs. I'm hoping that for West Ham, it's not like when Alan Pardew finished 5th for Newcastle, and then everything just goes back to business as usual, and we can build on this. That's what I really want to see. I want to see us building it next season. But if we get that Champions League, it is big, and we have to go through a Newcastle that are fighting for survival on Saturday, and that is not going to be easy. So we'll see. I'm going to say 3-1 West Ham. If we score 3 goals, and maybe we'll concede 1. We scored 3, conceded 3, then 2 after that. Maybe this could be the one where we score. I'd like a boring 1-0. Give me a boring 1-0. My heart can't take any more of these stressful games. But, we need to fight. Like I said, it is a cup final, so we'll see. But like I said, I really do think Newcastle will stay up. I don't think you guys have anything to worry about. It's all about trying to get Ashley out, and good luck with that, guys. I hope that it happens. Just like I hope we get rid of Golden Sullivan, and we'll see where both clubs are next season. So best of luck for the rest of the season after this game. Hopefully we do it, and thanks to Lee for having me on.
Big thanks to Dan from West Ham Fan TV with that fantastic conversation, really, about everything that's going on with West Ham. He thinks Newcastle are going to stay up, which is brilliant to hear, isn't it? He was also talking about 3-0 leads, also actually 3-0 up right now, which is incredible to say the least. But Adam, one of the big talking points is West Ham's manager, and that's David Moyes. Look, when he came in, it was a bit of an underwhelming appointment at the back end of, it was the beginning of last season, pretty much. And he's managed to keep them up in the division. He's managed to stabilise them, and yes, look, they're punching well above their weight. But what are the major differences that he's brought this team from, say, a Pellegrini, for example?
They work a lot harder. They don't stop running. They turned into one of them teams that they just press, and they go forward very, very quickly, which they didn't do last season under him, to be fair. But he's obviously adapted a few things. Look, there's always been a manager there in David Moyes. From what he did at Preston to Everton, took the Man U job too early, and then a couple of bad clubs, poor clubs to choose. So he's kind of rebuilding his reputation like he has to. So credit to him. If after Saturday, I hope West Ham do go and get top 4. It'd be a nice change to the Premier League, and the fans deserve it. They're a good set of fans down there. But yeah, he's just got them grafting, and they're fighting for every ball. And then, as the lad said before, they've got like 6 or 7 cup finals now, because what we do would be in their position.
Sam, do you want West Ham to get into the Champions League?
I don't care. I don't care. I don't dislike West Ham. Shades of 11-12 for us, isn't it? We didn't quite make Champions League. We stuck with 5th, and then the crime of not building on that was among one of many of Ashley's serious flaws. It's nice to see a team challenge that's not in the usual, that's mixing it up with the usual top 6 and ruffling a few feathers. I've always said they've had a squad that's really underachieving, because they've got some fantastic players. They always have in that for the past few years now. Got a fantastic squad. Yarmolenko, for God's sakes, on the bench for them. Yeah. So they've got a cracking squad, and they're realising their potential now. It makes no odds to me whether they go Champions League, Europa League, or whatever. I only watch that stuff if we're in it, so it's no surprise I haven't watched European football for a good number of years now. But yeah, fair play to them. I just want us to win on Saturday, but I'm not entirely sure that's going to happen.
We'll talk about Newcastle very, very short. Last question on West Ham. Adam, I'll let you start off. Will West Ham make the top 4, yes or no?
Yeah, I think they will. I do. I think they've got enough. I think
Big,
it's
bold
the team,
decision there, Adam.
the teams are. I haven't got the table to hand, but who's around them? Tottenham,
Liverpool, Chelsea.
Like Dan said on the clip there, if they win on Saturday, they go third.
Yeah, I think it's theirs to lose, and I don't think they're scared of anyone. Like, I really don't. I don't know what the fixtures are, but I think they're going to come to St James's Park and all.
Pretty scared of Jeff Hendrick in August.
Good to know. Like, we've been scared of him since, though. He's terrified us every game since. But no, as I said, like, that's as football fans, it's stuff you dream of. You know, we did it in 2011-12. It's stuff you dream of getting into Europe. So they haven't done it. Have they done it like in a lot of years? I don't think they have. So you know, I said the lads on the bowling boys when I was on Monday, enjoy it. Enjoy every. If you get into Europe, enjoy every second, because we did them 10 years ago.
Yeah. Sam, will West Ham make the Champions League? Yes or no?
I'm going to go. Yeah, I think they're going to sneak 4th. I think Leicester will drop and come out of that race, and yeah, I think West Ham will. I think they'll nick 4th. Yeah.
Fascinating. Hopefully they lose on Saturday and then get the top 4.
Correct.
Right, let's talk about Newcastle. The bookies. This is what I call Sam's betting preview of the week. Newcastle, according to Sky Bets.
Someone watched my Grand National preview.
Oh, we did. Sam, according to Sky Bet, this is the only first betting website I looked at. Newcastle are 5-2. West Ham are 21-20. And the draw's 5-2. Is that fair?
Yeah, I think so. From that, bookmakers are still. I think I did check the odds at work the other week that if you're looking at odds alone, then they're expecting West Ham to finish 6th or 7th. So they still represent a bit of value in a top 4 finish. Yeah, it's about right. I mean, it's not a bad price actually for West Ham to win away. Was it 21-20? So just a touch over. Just over 2-1. No, just over evens. 21-10 would be just over 2-1.
That's why you were in the betting shop.
Stick to chicken. Yeah, just a bit over even money. That's more than fair considering, as I say, a win takes them 3rd. But yeah, it could be a close one. I mean, like Dan said in the clip there, they've took a big lead, but they've kind of lost a big lead. So they may be a bit vulnerable at the back, despite Craig Dawson's wonderful form.
Oh, of course. Adam, let's see if we can try and all agree on a team. Obviously, Dubravka is going to start in goal after his fantastic performance last week. Do you still expect Newcastle to maybe match West Ham now with 5 at the back? Because obviously Dan was talking about West Ham going 5 at the back, which seems to be working for them. Do you think Newcastle should continue with this 5 at the back at West Ham?
I think he will. I think he'll set up on Saturday not to lose, because it could be a big point if West Brom and Fulham lose again. That's how Steve Bruce will look at it. I think the back 5 will probably remain unchanged. They didn't do much. I thought second half against Burnley they were excellent. First half they were poor. So yeah, I don't expect many changes at the back. But it'll be a much different game than the Burnley game. It was obviously very direct against Burnley. I think they must have had about 100 corners. So West Ham are going to try and play football around us. So it's a different test. I've said in a few shows, I don't think it's a bad thing Lascelles misses out sometimes, because I think there's better defenders there.
Strongly disagree.
About
with what?
With Lascelles missing out. You could tell if Lascelles was playing at Burnley, then half that shit wouldn't have happened in the first half. He wouldn't have stood for any of that. There was just no communication. It was all very quiet.
Love his character. Love his captain of the club, which is a bit lax defensively.
Would you make any changes to the potential back 5, Sam?
You can't really because no fucker else is fit. What, instead of Richie? Because the thing is, it's more of a 3-5-2 than a 5-3-2 at the moment. Because Richie and Murphy, like they're more or less level with the midfield, and they work up and down that wing. So I can't see Jamal Lewis doing that.
Got to keep Richie in. Got to keep Richie in now till the end of the season.
Yeah, probably. There's an argument. Could you shove Almiron on the left and put Willock in the centre? I would actually make an argument for taking Almiron out of the team and putting Willock in, because Almiron's been poor the past 2 or 3 games. I could possibly make an argument for that, but I can see it being unchanged bar one. I think ASM will start ahead of Joe Linton. I don't think I'll be surprised. I mean, Wilson's got a fantastic goal record against West Ham, but he looked way off the pace. I don't think he's anywhere near full fitness. I don't think you can get a start out of him yet. I could be wrong.
Yeah, we'll touch about ASM and Wilson in a bit, because Wilson has a fantastic record against West Ham, which we'll mention very shortly. But would you put 2 right backs on the bench, Adam, when you've got basically a right winger playing right wing back?
I wouldn't have any right backs on the bench, to be fair. They're that bad. But yeah, I mean, Jacob Murphy should be. We've said how many times we've said it on this show when he wasn't playing. We've said it umpteen times. Mankillo and Kraft are very suspect. So, Jacob Murphy. I mean, he didn't half strike that ball to get us back in the game. He just looks lively. He looks like a player at times. Yes, he gets caught out, but you'd much rather have him ahead of the other 2.
Yeah, 100%. And it stops right wing backs and right back debates with me and Sam on a weekly basis. Hope that ends. Yeah, let's move into the midfields. Obviously, John Joe Shelby and Sean Longstaff are probably more or less guarantees. Am I right in thinking, Sam?
I would say so, yeah. You might see Hendrick get the Andy Carroll role again of 30 seconds for his appearance fee. Matty Longstaff's still nowhere to be seen, although I saw pictures of him in training today, so he's definitely in and around the club. I think so. Sean was fantastic when we went 2-1 up on Sunday. He really did. Yeah, it was nice to see, because he regressed dramatically under Bruce. So it's good to see him get on the way back to the player that he was under Rafa. But and he's not going to drop Shelby. He's going to be
captain, won't
he will be captain. He's not going to get dropped. So it's one of them. You're probably going to only see Willock if we're chasing the game.
Adam, Sam's talked about the possibility of dropping Miguel Almiron for Joe Willock, who did score against Spurs when he came on a couple of weeks ago. Would you drop Miguel Almiron for Joe Willock right now?
I personally wouldn't. I agree with Sam that he's not in his best form. I completely agree with that. He needs to be more prolific in front of goal and a bit more creative when he's on the ball. I know we have a joke that he runs around that, and he does, and that's why I like him in the team. He does give 110% every game. He puts a shift in. But I do agree, he's got to be better. I mean, he could have put us 3-1 up against Burnley in the last 5 or 6 minutes. He had a good chance. It was pretty much an open goal. He just hit it straight at the Burnley defender. But no, I think we need him in the team. I do. I think his work rate's too much to give up. But on the other hand, Willock's pretty unlucky to be out of the team as well, because I don't really think he's had a terrible game for us. And I'd like to see a lot more of him, actually, because I haven't really seen a great deal.
Yeah, I'm not in the camp of let's buy him for £20 million, which has been the rumoured fee. I would probably want him on loan next season, regardless of which division we're in next season. I think
could be a bit of the Kennedy syndrome, couldn't it?
Exactly. I think let's just see let's give him another full season and see what he's like. And I think Arsenal are probably willing to do the deal, to be honest. So yeah, get in the comments. Do you go with Mickey or Willock? It's a good debate. At least we've got a few options in that particular position now. If we are assuming that ASM is ready to start a game of football, and by God, I hope he is, after that performance against Burnley in particular. He's got to play. Adam, I'll start with you. Who is dropped, Joe Linton or Gale for him?
Joe Linton, for me. no doubt. Joelinton hasn't been as bad as he was the first half of the season, but there's no question. The SM starts. The game he came on against Tottenham, just looked lively. And as soon as he came on against Burnley, as soon as he got that first ball, I was screaming at him, just run, and he did. And it created problems for Burnley. Didn't know what to do. And it was a simple pullback. It wasn't a magnificent assist, but he did the basics. Murphy put it in. And then the second goal just speaks wonders. I agree with Jonny, if he's fit, which he's got to be now. He's been back in training 4 weeks. If you're not a professional footballer and fit after 4 weeks training, you shouldn't be a footballer. He's got to start and I think Bruce will start, and Bruce must know now that he's got to start. And I said he's our ace card to play. He's just a quality footballer when he gets it right.
Yeah, he is very much the joker in the pack. I don't know if you heard my squeal on the watch along last Sunday. I don't know. Apparently, I'm not due for high pitchness for when Newcastle score, but
it wasn't. It was more that you were telling them to score, not shoot. You weren't shouting shoot. You were shouting stop and score. Score.
You should have seen the voice note I got off Sam after the game when he says he can't hear the word score. But all I'm saying is, right, take them all on. Go on, Biggie, take them all on and score. There's only 5 of them. I was probably exaggerating a tiny bit, but he did. That's the same.
That was the same as you. I was shouting, pass it to Wilson, pass it to Wilson, pass it to Wilson. And then he cut it in. I was like, yeah, what a relief that was. I've been in a good mood this week.
Oh, it's been mint, isn't it?
Speaking of that, though, remember when ASM just retired Zabaleta?
Yes. That was unbelievable. That
in a West Ham game. So you could see a similar type of game where it's just all runners. Same with West Ham with Lingard and Bowen. Runners. That's what it's going to be. Completely different.
It'll be a good battle, actually, if saint-maximin starts against Kufal, because I think Kufal's been really impressive for West Ham this season. It's been one of the brightest spots. A fantastic by David Moyes. Do you agree with Joelinton being dropped for saint-maximin, or would you drop Gale, sir?
No, I agree. Purely because Gale is better at leading the line. That's the only reason why. If it was the other way around and Wilson was starting and ASM was 50-50, then I would drop Gale. But Gale is better at leading the line than Joelinton. So he needs someone like a Wilson up there with him or a Gale. But I agree. He's been okay the past few weeks, says Joe, but it's just purely a tactical switch for me.
And then there's the big debate. Do Newcastle start with Callum Wilson? 8 goals for Callum Wilson against West Ham. He loves playing against West Ham. His first goal for Newcastle was against West Ham back in September. I'll put my neck out the line. I want him to start because I think this is a game Newcastle can actually get points from. When you look at the next 5 games, it's against teams in the top half, but we're playing the likes of the Manchester Cities. We're not going to beat them. We've got a horrific record against Liverpool. Arsenal's a bit of a bogey team for us at St James's. I think we've only won once against Arsenal in the last 10 years at St James's. And Leicester's probably another game you don't know. It depends what sort of Leicester turn up at the minute. But I would start him. Adam, do you agree or disagree? Would you start with Gale, or would you say, Wilson, can you give me 60, 65 minutes?
No, it's exactly what you've just said and what Sam touched on before. I don't think he's fully fit, but I'd rather give him 60, 70 minutes in this game rather than Anfield away next week. Because we've got more chance of getting something on Saturday than we do if he has to drop him for the Liverpool game because he's not fit, then just give him 20 minutes in that game because maybe it's not the attitude to have, but it's probably a game we're going to lose. Whereas West Ham, we've got a decent chance with him and ESM in the team of getting something. So yeah, 60 minutes if he's knackered, then take him off. But I'd rather risk him 60, 70 minutes Saturday than leave him another week for a game that we're going to have none of the ball.
Sam, what do you think? Do you agree with Adam?
We don't know how fit he is. That's the thing. If we can get an hour out of him, then of course you start him. It's a no-brainer because he's by far our best striker. Completely different levels. I just don't think he is fit enough. He's been out a while now, and his touch was appalling when he came on on Sunday. I don't know, but again, it's one of these circumstantial questions where we don't know the situations regarding his fitness levels. But if you can get even maybe 45 minutes out of him, then you've got to, because win this game and we're more or less there, aren't we?
Yeah, 100%. Get in the comments, would you start Callum Wilson on Saturday, or would you continue with Dwight Gale or possibly Joe Linton, depending on how you see the game on Saturday afternoon? How does Steve Bruce go into this game, Adam? Because I think 36 points is probably the magic number for Newcastle. I think if you look at it, can Fulham realistically get 10 points from the last 6 games or 11 points in the last 6 games?
West Brom as well, you want to watch as well?
I think West Brom, I think they might have just run out of time. They still got some tough games as well, West Brom. They're still got to play the likes of Leeds, who have had a fantastic season.
Win their game in hand, they go above Fulham.
They do, but they've still got some tough games, Sam, on paper. I would be, if West Brom win the next 2, yeah, definitely. But I think they need to, at least match Fulham to be in the reckoning for that. But how does Steve Bruce go into this game, Adam? Because I think we've got to try and win the game. I think because look, West Ham, the bubble, no pun intended, will probably burst because they've been very fortunate. A couple of 3-2 wins in the last couple of games. Surely the luck can't continue for much longer.
I think if Steve Bruce is looking at like us, I think if we get a point this weekend and both West Brom and Fulham lose, it's really difficult for West Brom and Fulham because you've only taught there's only 5 or 6 games left and they've got to win probably 4 of them. Very difficult. I know it can happen. You know, we've seen like Villa were in a position this time last year where Villa were down and out and they got back. So I'm sure none of us fans are taking it for granted. I still think I'd like to get another 7 points on the board, just so it shows like it looks like we've done it rather than being, you know, relying on Fulham and West Brom like we have done most of the season. But yeah, I mean, West Ham at home, I know they're in great form and they're a great team at the minute, but we should always be competing or beating West Ham at home. I don't care how good they are. We've already beaten them once this season. I know it's a long time ago, but, you know, we're Newcastle United. We should be at least, you know, Hammers fans should be dreading coming up here. And I don't think a lot of them are, but we should be giving them a good game. And, you know, it's a team, you know, I've said we shouldn't be getting beat off West Ham at home, like, no, but, you know, things have changed. But no, I think Steve Bruce will settle for a point. I think if we can get a point and the other 2 teams lose, that's you know, we're nearly there.
If Newcastle do get a point, Sam, it'll be the first time since the 60s that Newcastle have drawn 4 home games in a row. Now, that's I just found out today. So since 1960-61, that Newcastle would draw 4 home games in a row in the top division. Would you settle for a point, Sam? If I offered you it right now?
It's a tricky one. It's a tricky
one.
I
personally wouldn't.
Because Adam's got me believing again. If you'd have asked me that before Adam's rousing speech, then maybe I would have done. I don't know. They've got players missing, haven't they? They're on a good run of form. Can Lingard keep his run going? He's going to keep on biting me on the backside, isn't he?
West Ham are due to get hiding as well, mate. I mean, I'm not saying it's going to be off us, but the push and the look in a few games West Ham.
Yeah, I agree. No, I probably wouldn't take a point if you offered it me now. Mainly because I'm off on Saturday and I want a game of football to watch. But yeah, I think it's a real game there to be won. And you look at the fixtures we've got, and everyone, you're going to point at this one because anything can happen over the subsequent 5 or 6 weeks, and then you don't want to be needing a win coming into them last 2 games of the season where Sheffield United will already be down and the pressure will be off, so they'll start playing football and, you know, picking up odd wins. It always happens every year for the team that finished bottom. And then you don't want to go into that last game of the season at Craven Cottage needing anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be fascinating to say the least. All right, let's finish with predictions. Adam, I'll let you start. How are Newcastle going to get on this weekend?
Boring no prediction, but I do think it'll be a draw. I think it'll be a 1-1. I don't think West Ham are the greatest at the back. And I'm going on that because I do think Callum Wilson will start on the bench. He's not fully fit. And I can't see us keeping a clean sheet. So I'm hoping West Ham don't do a route like they have done the last few games because West Ham are fantastic going forward. But Yeah, that point 1-1.
Sam.
Do you know what? I was going to go 3-1 West Ham before Adam got me believing again.
I've just gone for a draw myself. I don't believe that much.
Yeah, exactly. I am going to stick with 3-1 West Ham because I am a bit worried about our frailties coming wide, and we could be left exposed with a very narrow back three who weren't overly convincing on Sunday. But hopefully, I so hope I'm wrong because back-to-back, genuine back-to-back wins in the Premier League, not the Steve Bruce sort of back-to-back wins where you think a draw's a win. This game is so crucial again, isn't it? But I don't know. Adam might have changed my mind. I might go 2-2.
2-2. You go Desmond?
Yeah, I'll go Desmond.
Desmond 2-2 for the younger viewers out there. Or the older viewers, I should say.
Yeah, well, that won't make any difference because they're not going to know who he
is. The younger viewers will be going, Desmond 2-2, who's that? Anyway, my prediction is, say it quietly, 2-1 home win. I think Newcastle might. Newcastle, I'm just sticking it out there, lads. I'm going to go for it. I think Newcastle
that would make my Saturday in Durham one of the best days ever, that, I'll tell you.
Definitely.
First time in the pub and Newcastle win.
If you see a happy Adam, just ask him if he can have a pint, and I'm sure he'll sort his out. But yeah, I'm going to go 2-1 home win. I think Newcastle can win this game if Alan Saint-Maximin plays anything like he did for that little 5-10 minute burst against Burnley. Then West Ham will be worried. But I do think we need to get Callum Wilson playing 60-65 minutes, and if he can do that, and then you bring on a Gale, Joe Linton debate, whoever you want to start them with, or drop. And if they can do a job defensively, I think Newcastle can just about hold on. But I'm going to go 2-1 home winning, 35 points on the board, and hopefully other teams can lose as well. But yeah, it's been a fantastic preview. Again, big thanks to Dan from West Ham Fan TV. Make sure you go over to their channel. Lee's done a video for them where Lee talks about whether West Ham will make the top four and how happy he is to see the likes of West Ham, Leicester in the top four, not the traditional big four, big six as well. There will be a video tomorrow on Alan Saint-Maximin. We're going through all the stats of the Frenchman and can he be the difference? Can he be the difference of Newcastle staying in the Premier League this season? I think a lot of fans would probably say yes.
But do still watch the video.
Yes, of course. Please do watch the video. Get another big thanks to all the subscribers there. 25,000 have just reached in the last 24 hours or the last few hours. It's been absolutely fantastic. Again, a big thanks from everybody on Newcastle Fans TV. There's going to be a few videos over the next few days of people that are just joining the stream now. And then the videos on Saturday. We've got the live watch along to me, Carl and Brandon. But the watch along, Lee will just drop out before 12 o'clock. We've got Scoring the Players, the fan reaction show. If you want to get involved, make sure you click the link in the comments box for the fan reaction show. And after Scoring the Players, it will be The Last Word with Lee. And he will talk all things Newcastle versus West Ham. Hopefully he's talking all good things on Saturday afternoon. My thanks to Adam.
Cheers, lads.
My thanks to Sam.
I love how you've gone with someone else and not me first this time, so I don't harangue you about leaving the pause.
This is what I'm going to put up with.
Anyway, just have to say good night.
I know.
All you had to say was thank you.
Yeah, just be polite,
No.
Well, anyway, make sure you keep on watching all the videos from Newcastle Fans TV. And please, Newcastle, if you can give us a win, that'd be fantastic. And it means Adam can enjoy his pints a little bit more better anyway on Saturday afternoon. But yeah, that is the end of the preview. We'll see you all on Saturday and have a great night.